Hello Internet, James Allen from Out of 8, and today I'm playing turn-based grand strategy game Age of Civilizations 2. Holds a lot of similarities with Europa Universalis, as you'll see when we start a new game. It does have an editor where you can kind of create your own map and modify other things in the game. So I'm just going to create a new game. It has a, basically the default setting is you start in 1440, control any of the countries around the world at that time, and then try to, take over everybody or whatever. There's also a tutorial, and you can also customize your game a little bit with these options that are over here on the side, which allow you to kind of, change things a little bit. So, starts out by giving you a place at random. Kind of want, maybe Crimea. Yeah, I think Crimea will be pretty good. I kind of pick one in whatever area it tells me in. Large, but not too large. So that'll be pretty good there. So I will change to Crimea. You can have additional players, but they're all local. There's no online multiplayer. Or you could have it select somebody at random. So as you can see, it has basically the whole world. Including, all the Native American stuff and everybody down in Africa and stuff like that. So, click play. And away we go. Essentially, this is a more approachable Europa Universalis. There's less complexity, but again, less depth. There's a lot of times where you don't have much to do during each turn. So you're kind of hitting the end turn thing, which you can do fairly quickly being turn-based and all. The general things for grand strategy games occur where you'll do diplomacy against other nations, try to build up your population and stuff like that. So I'm going to just show off kind of the basic options here to give you an idea. That's the one thing that I complain about the most is inadvertently issuing move orders to nations. When you left-click by default, it's a move order. And so sometimes I click and I end up moving my units who knows where, which can be problematic. So show off a little civilization view, very standard stuff where it gives you all the stats. Now what you can do for your budget is you can determine the tax rate, which obviously affects the happiness rating. And then you can determine where all your money goes. So you can put some into goods, which will affect the growth rate of your population. You can also put some into research, which I will do in order to unlock additional technology levels, which give you more buildings that you can do, better buildings. You can also invest in economic growth, which is another way of making your money. Basically, that's your production income up there. And then any leftover money you can use to purchase troops and construct buildings. And this just shows your military upkeep based on your current military size. So the first thing I'm going to do is recruit some additional units. So I will recruit. And then it kind of just does a little display down here where it shows you how many additional units you want. Gives you what your monthly balance will be based on that, and then how much gold it will cost. So I kind of don't want to do too much because I invested heavily in other areas, so we'll just kind of check that. And then it'll be done next turn. In addition to that, you can build a whole bunch of stuff. Farms will increase your growth rate. Workshops will increase your economic production income. Libraries will increase your research. And then armories reduce the cost of your recruitment in that area. You can reduce your military upkeep by doing supply camps. Watchtowers and fortresses are obviously defensive structures, and then so you can see surrounding areas. But that's it. Those are the only buildings, and they level up as you go up in technology level. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use the different map modes. The game has a lot of map modes, but I do not like how tiny this thing is. It should come down or over. There's all this real estate on the game screen that could have been used instead of having to scroll through all this stuff. So what I'm going to do is look for the growth rate, because building the farm is a percentage increase to your growth rate. So I'm going to pick whichever territory has the biggest growth rate, which is that. And actually, if you click again, it automatically thinks you want to build a farm, which is pretty smart. So I'll construct one over there. And there goes all my money. So I spent it all on units and building that farm first thing. Then same thing if you go to the other options in here, which again, this is not organized super awesomely. There's diplomacy, so you can kind of get a read on how other people think. Lithuania doesn't like me very much. Whether you have alliances or not, whether you have ports, different continents. terrain type, recruitable population for, you know, armies and stuff like that. Let's see, development. So this is kind of a look at your economic growth. So there's your economy thing. So I'd probably want to build, you know, a thing here to increase that. Your population, tech level, all that stuff. Tax income. Then your army screen, so you can see where your armies are. So again, a lot of useful math modes, but I wish this was a little bit easier to navigate. I would like to see expanded and just show all the options at once instead of having to scroll through it. So in addition to that, we did our budget view already, so we did that. You also get the technology points. You start out with the number of them that you can allocate to all these different areas. So I'm going to do, and it's a simple percentage increase. As with the buildings, it's just a percentage increase in that area. We'll decrease our military a little bit. Let me see actually how much my administration cost is. Kind of a lot. So we'll bring that down a little bit. So I'll do that halfway. Bring up my income. Let's see my budget again. I actually get a lot more money through taxes, so we'll bring up our taxation. And then we'll bring these up. That. And then every time you increase your tech level, you get one more point you get to spend in there. You also get diplomatic options. So if you click on another country, you get the usual selection of things. Improve relations, decrease relations, alliances, trade, you know, all the different gold, defensive pacts, all that stuff. Non-aggression pacts and defensive pacts. So again, very standard options there. And then that's basically it. You are limited in the number of actions you can take per turn by your movement points. I've found that it's never an issue running out of movement points unless you're trying to do a whole bunch of stuff in a very large empire at once. Usually end up running out of money before you run out of that unless you're kind of saving up. But that restriction is there. You can see I get all that back. So my farm is done. So yay for that. Then basically I'm going to kind of keep hitting end turn until I get enough money to afford the next thing. So we'll go back to the political map. So it's roughly about 3,000 something. So you can see my money's going up a little bit. I did spend a lot of my money investing in, you know, all sorts of stuff. So let me go here. I actually have the most income here. So let's build a workshop, which will increase my thing. 4,000, which I just barely have enough money for. That'll be done in a couple turns. And there you go. So that's built. And that's basically the game. You know, you choose how you want to use your money. Basically, you use it to invest in growth this way through your budget, invest in growth by building buildings, or spend it on troops. And then that's kind of your strategy there. You know, you probably want to invest more in troops if you're at a time of war with a hostile nation, which comes up eventually anyway. I don't think there's anybody I want to really declare war on. I got an insult from these guys, so they're not being very nice. So my relations are now minus 33 with them. You can pull up Wikipedia things to learn about them, which is kind of interesting. So let's try to... I need to build up my economy here. Let's try to do more population growth. So let's go to the population. So these guys, and I will build a farm here. So we'll go... No, I didn't actually do it. Yeah, that. Okay, that one. Oh, I did do a farm there. Oh yeah, I had the other country selected. That's why. All right, so build a farm. There you go. That'll increase their thing. People are starting to insult me a little bit. Those guys are now too. Then you can spend your diplomacy points to go after that. So these guys don't like me very much. So that's unfortunate. So basically, both my neighbors don't like me very much. So I'd probably gear up for, you know, probably fighting a pretty good war with these people. You see how my income is going up every month as my population grows. or every turn. It's not really it's roughly a month, like 3 weeks or so. So as a result of, my population increasing and stuff like that. So, there you go. That's pretty much it. Because this game is more approachable, it has less to do than Europa Universalis. This is definitely easier to get into because it's more straightforward. You're building stuff to increase your income, or you are, and I'll wait till I get another point here, so we'll just kind of end turn here a little bit and keep building stuff. Or you're investing in military, or that's pretty much it. So, let's see. Again, I hate this menu. I always forget which order's in this arbitrary order. And it shows here that you have like a farm here, so we'll build a farm there. So that'll bring up the pop growth a little bit. Oh, good. Serbia likes me. Let's go send a improve relations with them. So that takes up 0.5 of my thing, so you can see that goes down a little bit. And now we're up to 5,000, so probably should build something else. Let's see my budget. Still making a lot from taxes. So I might just do more pop growth. Again, where are you? Oh, there it is. Yeah, so we'll just build one there. Yep, someone else likes me too. We'll give you an improved relations also. Thanks, Kazan. And you too. At least some people like me. Oh, there's my tech point. So I got one more tech point I can put wherever I want. I'll put it in taxation because that seems to be where I'm making most of my money. And then it just gives you a prompt that you've reached level 0.41, which will eventually unlock more buildings. So for example, here's my farm that's a level 1. But you can't build the level 2 one until you get your tech up. So, or actually, no, I can do the 2 here. So let's do that. Yeah, farm level 2. There's my 2. Actually, I can go to level 3. My tech is high enough. Yeah. So there you go. I mean, that's basically it. The aggressiveness is kind of up to you how much you want to do towards military, and really the goals are up to you too. It's very open-ended. There's no real objectives that you're supposed to go after other than just trying to take over vulnerable nearby nations. Like I said, overall, it's very similar to Europa Universalis, that series, but I think it's actually more approachable for people who aren't familiar with that series. EU and Crusader Kings, by extension, are very intimidating the first time you play that stuff. So it's kind of nice that there is an alternative here. And the AI is pretty good. But again, the flip side of that, it is more approachable, but there's less stuff to do. There's a lot of the time when I'm playing the game where you're just simply hammering the end turn button. Like I said, I basically showed off everything in the game in 5-10 minutes. So there isn't, that much stuff overall to do. But again, it's easier to get a handle on what's going on. And if you like grand strategy games that are a little bit more simplistic and less involved, I think this is one that you'll want to look at. And it's got a ton of reviews on Steam, which actually kind of surprised me. But I think it's this is a big title. It's very inexpensive. I think it's only $5, and it's pretty popular. It seems in Russia too. So it has that going for it. So it seems to be have a pretty rabid following online. So that's always good news for future development and expansion of the game. So overall, I would recommend it. I will say that there is less to do, but it's easier to do the things you can do in the game. So overall, positive feelings towards Age of Civilizations 2. That's all I have for today. Till next time, bye now.